Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Potato, and welcome back to our channel. Hi, hello everybody, how are you doing? I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. from severe back pain. Who else is enjoying getting older? Who else loves getting older? I'm about to be 37. I know that's not old. Well, also age is just a number. But honestly, every year I feel older and older. So anyways, I'm actually filming this really early because, like, why the fuck did I wake up so early? Anyways, besides what, all of that's besides the point, okay? I know I'm not the first human in history to experience back pain. No worries. I'm just yapping because my brain doesn't know what to do with it. Did I forget to take my medicine? I don't think I've taken my medicine yet today. Okay, well, I've already locked in to filming this video, so I'll take my medicine once I'm done. Life is great. Life is stunning. Life is amazing. Today, I'm doing this because we're Rosie Lynn Reed clocking that tea today. We're clocking that. Get your tea clockers ready. Because yeah, she did a Patreon live last night. I actually watched bits and pieces of a Twitch stream the other night. I actually sometimes watch it while I play Fortnite with some of my friends. So we were watching it in a Discord voice chat call together and playing Fortnite at the same time. Really fascinating, amazing experience watching Rosie whilst playing Fortnite. Anyways, she did mention in that live stream, the one thing I really took away from that, well, there's lots of things to take away. Let me be so serious. But one of the things that I took away was she said repeatedly over and over and over again she hadn't been keeping up with any girl world stuff and she was so glad to be free from it. As if she didn't do a Patreon stream a couple weeks ago talking about how she had to unsubscribe from Amberlynn because she hated the lolcow stuff. So I'm curious to see today if some of that holds up. But really the true reason why we're here today reacting to Rosie is because she made a community tab post 13 hours ago is what it says. And I was alerted by some people from my Twitch community that, in fact, actually she offered some level of apology to me and maybe also the other Zach, Pulpy Syntax. Allegedly, that's a thing that may or may not have happened. And so they gave me some timestamps from her Patreon live. But the community tab post kind of supports that. So I'm going to trust that the people aren't lying to me. Her community tab post reads, "Hi friends, I just got done not long ago on my Patreon live today, and it took an unexpected but good turn. The replay is not behind a paywall. I ended up discussing some things I had on my mind. The important part of the stream I'm considering clipping and re-uploading here, but I'm still undecided. I addressed aspects of what happened on my brother's birthday, including an apology to a couple people. I shared my insights and I want it to be seen. I didn't intend to do it behind a paywall, or at all, honestly." That always feels good. That always feels good when you follow up saying, I made an apology that I didn't actually ever intend to make. Stunning. It was something in my heart, and I felt ready to say it in that moment. If you want to watch, it's linked here. Again, free, no paywall. I'll be live later this week again on Patreon. And she does have a photo and stuff linked, but I think I've shared the important parts of it. And of course, we are going to, in fact, go watch the parts that were timestamped for me. I was told it starts around 27 minutes in her Patreon, and I think, I'll have to double check, I think ends around 49 minutes. So we're not gonna watch it all by any means. We're not gonna watch the whole Patreon live, but I am curious about specifically the parts where she allegedly apologizes. Even if it's not to me, I'd like to see what kind of accountability she's taken for whatever she claims she's gonna take accountability for, you know? Okay, I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it in the previous clips, but for some reason there was somebody doing something outside my building. I tried to look out the window. I think it was further down the street at an angle I couldn't see, but somebody was sawing or something. I don't know. It's been frigid in Chicago. I don't know why y'all are doing all that work. Well, it's probably not their choice. It's probably not their choice. So I took an extended break, which also means I went and grabbed some of my medicine and took it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it's kicked in yet. So good luck on this. Good luck on this video recording that we're doing here. But anyways, yeah, let's just get to. Hopefully I have the right parts of this pulled up. Hopefully I don't miss anything important. Y'all know I'm good at doing that. Y'all know I'm good at doing that. But let me shut the fuck up and let's actually get to, shall we?
I feel no desire to address reaction channels again, especially the ones that I've had. I started developing the dynamic I always said I never wanted.
Can y'all hear her? I don't know who I'm asking, but I don't know if this is just Patreon as a platform, if this is her audio or not. She sounds very quiet to me. I have her turned all the way up, so my apologies. She said, what did she say? She said she has no desire to address reaction channels, and she had some kind of relationship with them. She developed a relationship she didn't intend on.
Oh, damn it. Let me turn off auto moderation. Please, can you resend that? I want to read that. I want to read what you said, but it got deleted by auto moderation.
Okay. I do have the chat pulled up on the side. I'm just not screen recording that part. So I'll let you know if something important does pop up over there.
Right. Please genuinely please resend that. I want to see what you said. I know you said he was a psycho, but I want to see the rest of what you said.
I know you said he's a psycho, but I want to see the rest of what you had to say. Perfect. Stunning.
Sorry. I turned off the setting, so it shouldn't happen again. I spoke to someone because,
I'm sure she's just playing this music because she's on Patreon, but yeah, how about we turn that off?
Zachary Michael stated publicly that I DM'd him.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he said. I know it was on his, Twitch, I believe.
No, And how would you know that, Rosie? And how would you know that? And how would you know that? Oh, never change, diva. Never change. Also, is that what she's talking about? Is somebody in her chat calling me a psycho? Did somebody in the chat call me a psycho?
I know that a lot of it seemed clear to me based on the context of the conversation I had. He did not share what I said, and if I'm wrong, correct.
And you're wrong. And you're wrong. And you're wrong, diva. I read it word for word in a video. I read it word for word in a video, and yeah, there's no misconstruing of what happened. I read out the whole entire fucking DM. There's no questions about what you said. I believe I showed the screenshot, but if I didn't, I can provide that. Although she did block me again already on Instagram. But there was no trying to set it up to make it look like you said something you didn't. I just shared what you said to me.
I see. I genuinely don't know. I don't watch him, and I haven't for a very long time, and I would never will. But my appreciation for the video he made about the person who was cyber stalking me was deep. I publicly thanked him. I said all of that publicly because I had no intention of contacting him.
And yet you did. and yet you did. And yet you did.
until I was really struggling to find the original full stream that was deleted by the person who was cyber stalking me.
Uh-huh.
That had really important evidence in it.
That had really important evidence. Well, girly pop, you only knew that I had the whole video because you watched my video. I included the worst parts of the things that he said in that live stream in that video. And as I explained in my response, there are many ways for Rosie to obtain that document without going through me. It was a video. It was a video recording. There are many ways for her to go and obtain that without contacting me in an Instagram DM. I'm just not playing these games with these girls. I'm not, because Rosie sat here on Al Gore's internet talking absolute shit about me as a dog parent. She's sitting in forums talking shit about me. She's sitting in forums talking about my ex. She's sitting in forums talking about people my ex might be dating. I owe this girlie nothing. I'm not here to stand in between her and getting justice with Cam. Cam is a loser. If you want evidence of that, just go and look at his replies to me on Twitter. He's a loser. He's a loser, and he's unwell, and he needs to log off the internet, to be quite honest with you. So I have no problems with working with authorities if she does press any kind of charges or something against him. I have no problems working with a third party even. You gonna lawyer up, Rosie? Have your lawyer talk to me. It's never been an issue of I won't assist in that kind of a thing, because I absolutely would. I think Cam is weird. I think Cam is a danger to other people on the internet. And I'm certainly not here to stand in between that and justice. I'm just saying I don't want to do it directly through you. I don't want to set up a world where a woman who has been so uncomfortably parasocial with me, who has had all these kinds of weird things to say about me on the internet, who has had all kinds of oversharing and stuff in my DMs. Like, I'm not opening myself up to that anymore. So again, in case it wasn't clear from my last video, more than happy to work with a third party to get you that video. More than happy. I'm just not doing it directly through you. And if that was misconstrued, or if I didn't explain that good enough the first time I talked about this, then I'm saying that now, okay? And if in case I didn't do a good enough job of explaining myself, happy to work with a third party. I just don't want to do it directly through you, Rosie, is what I'm here to say.
And while his video had the clips that would be very helpful and important, it didn't have everything.
Well,
I specifically said the only reason I contacted you was because I didn't know how else to get it.
Well, yes, I did share that. I did in fact share that, Rosie. See, the problem is that if she's being honest and she really didn't watch my video, which it kind of sounds like she didn't, because obviously if you watched the video I made about it, you would know then that I shared what she had to say. So the problem with that is that she is then getting this third party somewhere, which has continued to be the problem for Rosie. That's why Rosie thinks I'm out here neglecting Poe. It's because she just said, well, that's what Reddit said. That's what Reddit said. I read it on Reddit. Well, maybe your sources on Reddit aren't retelling what happened correctly. Maybe you should go watch these things firsthand, or I agree with you. You don't have to watch anything I say if you don't want to. Then stop talking about what I allegedly did or didn't say. You want to come on here onto your internet platform and speak about what I said in a video or what I did in a video, then at least watch the actual video so that you can actually speak on it and not just take whatever they're saying I'm doing in other places on the internet. Come to the first-hand source. And you can get it right here straight from me. You don't need to go read a recap of what somebody said online somewhere.
Could have found any way to not do it, I would, and I specifically mentioned
she did.
It was because of me trying to build the case in legal reasons, and
she sure did. She sure did say that. Also, mind you, she hasn't taken any legal action from what I'm aware of. She said, actually, in that Twitch stream that she wasn't going to come onto the internet and talk about the stuff with Cam anymore. She said she was moving past it. That's what she said in her Twitch stream that she did the other day. Okay, so B's off in the chat, by the way. It finally popped up. It said, I said that he's a complete psycho and he's going to fuck around and find out with the wrong one someday, whether it's you or someone else. I'm not sure from where I started in the chat if this person's referring to me, or it sounds like, honestly, they could be talking about Cam. And that would make sense, too, given what the context of what she's talking about.
At the time, I had no way of knowing if I was going to be able to get it. I did. I got very lucky.
Well, there you go.
And I'm very thankful.
Well, and there you go. And there you go. It's almost like what I said is true, that there are other ways for you to go about getting that information, that you didn't have to do it through me. Wow, that's crazy, Rosie. That's crazy. That's wild.
For how I was able to get it. And
I will say, side note, I like her hair straightened like this. Her hair looks really nice.
That person that I did a lot of digging and figured out a way.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I have it. I haven't watched it and I won't. But I did scroll through and looked at the usernames.
I haven't watched it and I won't, but I did look at the usernames in the chat. I did. Rosie girl, be so serious.
And so there are some people that don't know that I know, or haven't known that I know, that they're buddy trolls, and now I know.
I also, unfortunately for Miss Rosie, I hate to tell her, a good chunk of her audience is buddy trolls. There are people that I see in her chat that are in all kinds of reaction channels chats. I hate to break it to her, and I'm not gonna publicly out them. If she wants to go do this investigative Nancy Drew journalism, I don't know why I can't talk today. She's more than welcome to, but I'm just telling you, girl, it's not even that hard to put together the pieces. So I'm sure you can figure it out, Rosie.
So, one of them was in my Twitch yesterday, actually. But I hold a sincere gratitude towards Zach for that. Doesn't change anything else. Doesn't change anything else about the past.
Sure.
But there was a conversation I had with someone.
It sure doesn't change the ways that I feel about our past either. So no worries there. We're on the same page, Rosie.
Who contacted me when it happened. And it forced me to see things in a different perspective. And I realized that there was one thing in hindsight that I wanted to genuinely apologize for.
Oh?
And that was like when I said like the dog stuff.
Oh!
And at the time, I was...
Wait. Poe is down here. He's sitting under my desk. Poe, I think you deserve to hear this. I think you deserve to hear this. You deserve to hear this, buddy.
More emotion attached to it all because I felt...
He said, Dad, I really don't. I really don't want to hear what she has to say. And that's fine. Listen, one thing that you aren't is a prop on my channel. So if you don't want to sit in my lap and listen to what Miss Rosie has to say, I'm not about to make you do it. I won't do that to you.
Unheard. And it felt so unfair that it seemed like no one took into consideration the power dynamic.
Wait. Okay, I got distracted by Poe. Let me rewind a little bit. What? No one thought about the power dynamic of what? I just want to continue to remind you all and again, we'll listen to this again, by the way, but I just want to continue to remind you all that she followed me on Instagram. I found her from Instagram, not YouTube, okay? So no, she doesn't have a ton of, like, nearly as many followers as I do on YouTube. Certainly if you're just looking at YouTube, there's a power dynamic, but she is no stranger to having an online presence. She's not just some nobody internet figure. She's been on a podcast that got a million views, over a million views, and on Instagram, which is where she followed me, okay? Where she followed me and initially messaged me, and I can't even probably go look at this now because she's got me blocked. I don't know why I was thinking, let me pull it up on my Instagram. I'm blocked, which is fine. She's welcome to block me. But she has like 80-some thousand followers on Instagram, and I think I'm sitting at like 20-something followers. She's got an online presence. I don't know what power dynamic she's talking about. It doesn't make no sense to me. In fact, I have stated more than once that the reason I was intrigued that this person was reaching out to me to begin with is because she had so many followers. And I was like, who is this and why do they know who I am? Like that, I'm sorry if that sounds like I was looking for clout, but that is fascinating to me when I find out that people who have bigger followings on me on some platforms know who I am, and I was intrigued. And so, I don't know what power dynamic she thinks is going on here. I really don't understand this narrative that she continues to try to sell. And I don't know how we got away so quickly from, mostly because I wasn't fully paying attention, but I don't know how we got away so quickly from the dog stuff onto a power dynamic between her and me. That's weirdly to me too.
When it happened, for that doesn't change anything else about the past. But there was a conversation I had with someone who contacted me when it happened. And it forced me to see things in a different perspective. And I realized that there was one thing,
yes,
in hindsight, that I wanted to genuinely apologize for. And that was like when I said like the dog stuff.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, I was angry and I had way more emotion attached to it all.
Uh-huh.
Because I felt like so unheard, and it felt so unfair that it seemed like no one took into consideration the power dynamic of Zach being at the time back then my favorite YouTuber, and how
listen, I was not ever trying to take advantage of me being your favorite YouTuber. That is something you're putting on to me. You reached out to me, Diva. I don't know what to tell you.
I said something to him thinking our dynamic was one way, and he took it wrong. He took it away however he took it. And then
he took it away however he took it. She acted like I haven't fully explained why I took everything the way that I did and why I was so put off by her messages in my DMs. She's acting like I didn't do a whole entire video explaining that. There is a whole entire video where I explain why her DMs made me uncomfortable, and it very clearly outlines it, and it shares everything.
He just like exposed me in such a serious way. It started this escalation, and when
Well, yes, because it was weird. Well, yes, because your behavior was weird.
Did say the stuff that I read on a forum that other people said, in the moment I took that as like not taking accountability for platforming it on my YouTube.
What is this word salad? What is this word salad? Are you apologizing for spreading lies about me and my dog? Or are you still passing the blame to the people on Reddit who had this to say about me? It doesn't seem like you really learned well, maybe let me shut the fuck up, because maybe she goes on to take accountability for that. Maybe she does. Maybe she goes on and she says, listen, I've learned now. I've learned that I shouldn't take everything that I read on Reddit as fact. maybe that's what she's learned. Because it would also be one thing if she was originally saying it in the sense that like, oh, I read this on Reddit, I'm curious if that's true. She was repeating these things as fact and saying that they happened and that she was upset that nobody was talking about them, but then later said, oh yeah, all kinds of people are talking about it on Reddit once people started calling her out for spreading the lies about it. Girl, please be so fucking serious, girl. Please. I also want to say, one of the last times I went to go and check and see if she was still talking about me on Reddit, I didn't make a video about it or anything because it was a nothing burger. Well, not a nothing burger in the sense that, like, it doesn't matter that she said it, but a nothing burger in the sense that, like, it would be so ridiculous for me to make a whole video out of it. But she had said something about, like, how she was going to just completely stop giving me any kind of attention. She was like, I'm not even going to acknowledge that Zach exists. I'm going to gray rock him, was the word, which is apparently some kind of technique to just, like, completely ignoring somebody or something that's causing you stress in your life or something. I looked it up at the time. I don't remember the exact definition now.
Which I did. I did do that. And I felt at the time justified in that.
Uh-huh.
And ultimately, I took someone's interpretation of a stream I didn't watch myself as fact, and I used it as a weapon to inflict harm because I felt hurt, and that is something that I try really hard not to do. And ultimately, it was over a kind of slightly bizarre parasocial connection that
a parasocial connection on your end. I do just want to say, if she's being honest about how if she didn't watch the original Twitch stream or whatever, and she was just taking it based off of that, I've seen so many people, now that I've, like, briefly returned to Twitter, right? And I got a little sassy about FFG the other day. So many people want to share, well, I don't know if it's so many people. I saw a person share a recap, an alleged recap of that Twitch stream. They said, there was a comment that said I was giving Poe opioids. Girl, trazodone is not an opioid. like this is what people are going off of. They said this person recapped this Twitch stream. I've been very honest about that, ma'am. I've been very honest that I gave Poe trazodone. I still do occasionally give Poe trazodone for situations that are going to be extremely stressful. Like, this is the problem, Rosie. This is I appreciate that you're getting to it a little bit. You're saying, I didn't actually watch that stream. I just read about it on Reddit. Perhaps the final piece here will be you saying, hey, maybe I should just stop reading all these Reddits. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get there. It feels like she's so close. It feels like she's so close.
You know, at the time when I was oversharing with him, that time frame was when I was dealing with, like, psychosis symptoms, and I was, like, in and out of the mental hospital, and, like, it was not great, and I that doesn't justify the fact that I may have made him uncomfortable and all that, and I just struggle with socializing with people. People love to, like, say I'm lying about being autistic and shit, but, like,
Okay, I've not said anything about any diagnosis she's had. I have seen other people make that speculation, but I'm not a medical professional, and I don't have autism myself, so I have literally no feedback to give there. I never made any argument about you being autistic or not, but here's what I will say. I have a history of working with students with disabilities, and what I will say is that it's important to remember that when you're talking about people with disabilities, whether that's ones of the neurodivergent type, if that's other types of disabilities, those disabilities aren't an excuse for bad behavior. People with autism still need to be held accountable for when they're being weird and uncomfortable and inappropriate with people in their DMs. Okay, so if you can acknowledge, what I do appreciate here, what I do hear you saying is, yeah, I was mentally unwell and I was sending messages that made him uncomfortable. That's probably the most honest you've been about that, like the most self-aware you've been about this, because you previously were acting like you weren't doing anything wrong. And listen, if there is something with autism or some other kind of like mental health struggle, that's fine. But be aware of that, and then let's start working on it, okay? Because you made me uncomfortable, and it's okay for me to say that. It's 100% okay for me to share that on the internet.
Struggled with that stuff, and I made missteps and all that scenario, and it's been a long time since that all initially happened, and I spent a lot of effort working on how I interact with people on the internet. And
also, to be clear, I'm not entirely convinced she's made a lot of effort to work on the ways that she interacts with people on the internet. just from watching and observing, but time will tell if that's true. Like we will see if she ends up in some of these situations again in the future.
Being very cognizant to not be weirdly parasocial or whatever. And I genuinely feel really bad, because it seems that was like what took Zach from just kind of talking about me to like being weirdly angry at me.
Being weirdly angry at you? Girl, I want you to know how serious this stuff about my dog is, because the same people that are sharing this stuff about me neglecting and abusing my dog, just for the record, are the same people that are out here saying that I abused my ex. They're the same people that are out here that are saying that, like, I left my ex high and dry and abused him, okay? This is the level of, like, deranged. They're the same people that are out here saying that I'm popping pills, that I'm back to drinking. I take my sobriety very seriously. I'm very happily still over 2 years sober from alcohol, okay? This is why you coming on here and platforming this idea that, like, it's legitimate that I don't take care of Poe matters, because there's weirdos on the internet who are saying that about me and Poe, but they're also saying that about me and my ex, and they're also saying that about me and using substances. All of these things, mind you, speculative, no proof, nothing that I have ever done to, like, back those claims up. And that's why this matters. So you can say that I was weirdly angry, but you need to understand the full context and the full picture of this is that all of these things have been happening this whole time. And so, yes, I addressed you, a public figure on YouTube who people know has been weirdly parasocial with me in the past, right? Like, people are aware of your relationship with me. People are aware of the ways that you're connected to me and my content on the internet. And so, yes, I think it's more than okay for me to be weirdly angry that you're coming onto the internet and sharing some of these things that I'm already getting in DMs, on comments on my YouTube videos. Now I'm finding out that people have just been tweeting up a storm about it. Like, these things are all connected, and that's why I was like, what's it gonna take for Rosie to slip into Zach abused their ex? What's it gonna take for Rosie to slip into sharing narratives about me taking some kind of substance, abusing some kind of substance? So yeah, I was gonna put the kibosh on it, just like I put the kibosh on FFG talking about it too, alright? And we'll continue to do so as needed. That's why these things matter, Rosie. I just want you to understand when we're talking about me being weirdly angry. It's not weird. It's justified. It's justified that you're willing to just come onto a platform, no matter how big or small, and start sharing blatant lies that you now admit you didn't actually know the full information. You just read a recap on Reddit. So let's just be clear there. And mind you, also, I've provided all kinds of receipts about Poe's vet care. I did that in one of my last FFG related videos, so you can go check that out. I think I posted it on December 31st. Go check out that video if you still are doubting that I took Poe to the vet and got him the medical care he needed. I feel like I'm like veering into like being annoyed because like she's so close. I do feel like she's so close to like some level of self-awareness here. I feel like she almost gets it, and I just want to make it so clear to her that I wasn't being weird. I wasn't being weirdly angry. It was justified, okay? like you seem to get like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said all this stuff because I didn't really know what was going on. I appreciate that, and let's take it to the next step, Rosie. Let's go all the way.
And I don't think I saw it that way for a long time. And after this conversation, I hope to never say their name again. Genuinely.
Listen, one thing Rosie's gonna do is talk about Zachary Michael.
And I mean that.
I'm sure.
And I am sorry.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I will take the apology, because like I said, I know probably a lot of people's take is going to be like, what the fuck is this word salad of an apology? But I actually, and maybe I'm being too generous here, I do feel like there's some level of self-awareness. Now, I am pressing X to doubt, because, like, she's shown levels of self-awareness in the past. The real thing here that's going to matter is, does she make changes? I mean, even just in like immediately saying this is the last time I ever want to talk about their name, girl, you've said that before, as I indicated in the Reddit post from earlier. So it's just like, yeah, I will take you for this apology. I'll accept this apology. But, like, let's make change then. Let's get off the forums. And not even just the forum about me. But if you're genuine about wanting to separate yourself from Girl World, which, honestly, truly was one of my initial, like, criticisms of you to begin with, is that you've always gone back and forth about if you want to be a part of this community or not. But if you're being genuine about that, get off all these subreddits. Like, let's start making actual change. Let's change who we are on the internet. I know you just took this month-long break. I totally support that. But let's show that you actually understood the concept of changing, that you've demonstrated some kind of change in your life.
For that portion of it, I have my own frustration. And I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, they monetize making fun of me for a living, so I'm not particularly interested in, like... I don't, just to be clear, I don't know that I would classify this as making fun of her, but if listen, she's entitled to feel that way if that's how she feels. And, like, apologizing like this or things like that, but it's not about them or that. It is about the fact that I made a mistake. Well, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I would hope that others that realize that they've just been running with this lie about me neglecting Poe, I hope that they'll come forward about that too. I also need to be clear that if, like, Rosie's up to some fuck shit on the internet, or if she just does something silly that I feel like is worth reacting to, we're still gonna do that over here. It's not impacted at all by her apologizing, because honestly, that's the bare minimum of what she should do, you know. But I'm just saying, like, I do appreciate that, and I hope other people follow suit, because it's crazy. Poe is quite literally one of the only things in my life in the past year that, like, kept me going. Kept me waking up, kept me on a routine, because I knew he needed me to do that. And it was, I think, fairly triggering to me when all of this stuff started popping off, because I was in also not a great mental health space. I don't think that is a surprise to anybody for me to say that, and I hope you can see that I've improved on a lot of that stuff over time through therapy and medication and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I
I would appreciate apologies from anybody who was sharing that stuff. I mean, I'm sure I won't get it, but I will say I appreciate it coming from Rosie.
I said that he's a complete psycho and he's going to fuck around. It's not about Zach.
Okay.
I'm gonna find out with the wrong one someday, whether it's you or someone else. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you realize that you do have people all over that love you. Never doubt that. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate that. And I wasn't planning on talking about this today. I didn't even realize until a moment struck that I think I'd feel overwhelmed to do this on Twitch or YouTube, and I know that being behind a paywall is kind of... I don't love that. I might actually make this replay public.
Okay.
I think I might do that. When I publish this, I think I'm going to make this replay public.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a soft launch, yeah. I will, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on this. So, while we're here, I have some more things to say then. I'm aware that Pulpy stopped reacting to me. Honestly. I was happy about it. I know people may not believe that. No one really believed me that when I said that I have not watched him in a long time, and
I just do want to say, like, respectfully, for somebody who's not been involved in Girl World or said that she's not kept up with it, doesn't want to keep up with reaction channels, she sure does know what the fuck's going on with me and Pulpy, huh? Huh.
I did see some stuff, like, when things were transpiring in December, but in the process of disengaging, I disengaged from him entirely as well. I understand. I don't think I fully understand why.
I think, well, I've never watched, let me not speak on Pulpy, actually. Because I don't know that I fully watched it, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, so let me not speak on it, actually. I'm curious what she thinks the problem is.
But I think I understand a portion of it, and I respect it, because in hindsight, the word platforming in terms of the person I referred to as the cyberstalker's accomplice, was probably not the best word, but to be fair, I was actively very traumatized by the scenario, and I was handling it the best that I could, and I was speaking in a stream of consciousness in a live format that had no editing. So, and again, these are not meant to sound like excuses. I hope that they're coming across as explanations.
Yeah, okay, so the reason I was about to speculate what Pulpy was upset about is because a lot of people in my comments, whenever I covered that situation, because I used a clip from her, a lot of people thought that Pulpy was, like, having this cam guy on his streams and stuff like that, because she didn't do a great job of explaining what was going on. And I didn't respond to probably every comment, but I think I at least responded to one saying, like, oh no, I think you misunderstood. Pulpy hasn't had either of these people on his platform. Of
what I've seen in hindsight. And so talking through everything in therapy this past month, and just taking time to process and journal and use my coping skills and work on myself away from, and giving myself the space and time away from the judgment of people like Pulpy, even though it's the goofy, silly, fun kind of version of it.
It's almost like maybe you shouldn't have been watching it to begin with.
Because it is the nicest version of it, and I've said that before. Like, the nicest of a mean bunch. I stand by that statement. But it was clear, and I always knew that he was not aware. And that was what was so difficult of when it first started, when I was first watching him, and it was like, kind of just like a silly, almost banter in a way, I guess. I don't know another word for it. It was weird on my part, too. I get that.
Yeah, it was weird that you would go into his chat. In fact, like, I have seen him actually tell you to leave his chat. I've seen him tell you to not be there. You again, she's so close to some of this self-awareness. Like, she almost gets it. She almost gets it. And then she's just, like, so far away from it. She's so far.
And I've been unpacking that, but,
like, how about we unpack the fact that you know so much about what other people have to say about you? Granted, on the internet, like, you can't necessarily avoid it all, okay? You surely can't avoid it all. Trust me. Trust me. I'm not faulting her for, like, accidentally stumbling upon something about herself on the internet. Like, I think that happens. I'm here to tell you it happens. It's happened to me. But that's different than, like, fully choosing to be in somebody's live stream and engage with their content and talk to them and post in their chat, right? If I see a video pop up in my YouTube recommended pages that is seemingly talking about me, I immediately just go and click, don't recommend this channel. They could be saying the nicest shit about me. Well, that's not true. There are some people where I've been told, like, it's nice stuff, and I may go check out some of that. But, like, for all intents and purposes, there are tools that you can just avoid seeing those things. She could go click on my channel, on Pulpy's channel, on anybody else's channel that might cover her, and click don't recommend. So I do think it's different. I do think it's different just, like, randomly stumbling upon things about yourself and then sitting in Pulpy Syntax's live streams offering commentary and feedback in the chat. Like, you're obviously certainly welcome to do that, but also if you're saying that it causes you so much distress, I don't know why you're seeking that kind of stuff out. You know? That, I don't know. It's complicated. I won't say that, like, what I will say is the past year of my life, I've probably had some of the most intense, like, negative feedback from weirdos on the internet, that I think it's provided some level of, like, different understanding for me. But I also know that there are things you can do, and I do, to protect yourself or myself, you know?
I genuinely, to this day, like, I don't think Pulpy is, like, a bad person or a malicious-minded person who would have ever been okay with what that cyber-stalking man and his woman accomplice person.
Uh-huh.
I know that there's stuff around that on whether or not she was actually a quote-unquote accomplice, but I don't trust anything, so I'm just using the same vernacular I used last time.
Okay. All right, Rosie.
Because I'm not saying their names.
Sure. How long will that last, Diva?
So, and I also understand that my lack of providing that context can be confusing.
Uh-huh.
And that was something that I remember Pulpy saying as well. But I also...
Those are some things I remember Pulpy saying, but I haven't been keeping up with him.
We respected the fact that when Pulpy talked about the situation, he didn't monetize the stream. And I will not be talking about him ever again moving forward, whether he reacts to me or not.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that, too.
That's not what I want to do.
We'll see. Listen, I would love to be proven wrong, so please do.
And I don't remember a lot, because when I watched it, I remember I was shocked at some of the things he was saying that were clearly, like, responses to, I guess, what some of the community had been saying to him.
Oh, maybe.
And I mean, I don't.
Maybe she wasn't trying to say she didn't watch this particular video, because it sounds like she did watch this live stream pretty intensely.
I don't know if it was just trolls, like, excited that maybe Pulpy had been, like, kind of brought into drama for the first time, and we're trying to, like, make something happen out of that, because that's just how the world is. But it blew my mind, because I knew what I meant when I brought that up, and that was what he apologized and took a sense of accountability for, which was that, like, you know, not knowing and understanding how I wanted to, and what I had tried to say prior when, like, no one believed me about her involvement and how gross she was on Twitter and like all the like his terminated channels where she was saying the most egregious shit right along with him. She has coddled him. She has protected him. She has platformed him. She is just like him.
Just to be clear, I don't entirely disagree with Rosie. But that's neither here nor there. I'm trying to understand what this has to do with the apology to I'm trying to understand what this has to do with your apology to Pulpy.
And so when she was suddenly around these like bigger channels that were giving her the attention because she was able to like rebrand in a way successfully before this happened, it was so hard because I just ultimately knew that like someone like him would not be okay with it, but just his general disdain toward me for how I'm perceived by these people.
How I'm perceived by these people. His disdain for how I'm perceived by these people. Girl, get to the point. Just say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have implied that Pulpy had anything to do with this situation. I shouldn't have even brought Pulpy up in the context of this conversation. And leave it at that. What is this word fucking salad we got going on here, diva? It's really, the apology to Pulpy is so simple. The apology to Pulpy is so simple because all you have to say is, I'm sorry for bringing Pulpy up in that context. I shouldn't have done it in that way, and if I was going to do it that way, I should have explained much better why I was even bringing him up to begin with. And call it a day. And call it a day. Because I think most people who like and support Pulpy probably already figured a lot of that out, you know?
Made it to where there was no realm of possibility for me to be heard or believed. So
nobody heard me. I just live streamed on my platform to all of my followers and supporters. Nobody was hearing me. Nobody was hearing me on my public platform. So I had to say this about Pulpy. I had to bring it up because nobody heard me. Well, people heard what you had to say about Pulpy, huh?
I will not be apologizing to the other two people I mentioned.
Fair enough.
Because they know what they said to me.
Fair enough.
How they spoke to me that night.
Fair enough. I don't think she did anything wrong to Nikki T or Cam. I don't think she owes an apology to them. Cam in particular, obviously very egregiously weird. A weirdo. Absolutely. No, Rosie should not apologize to that man. No, not even a little bit.
And I will never, I don't hold anger or resentment, but I will never...
Spit it out, Rosie.
I will never forgive them. The internet's going to believe what they want. And they will never know my full side of the story. They'll never know the lead up. And I want it to stay that way. And I wish them well. And I do mean that.
Okay. All right. Is that it?
I wish them happiness, and I hope that happiness finds a way.
I do think that people told me that she talks about it until about the 49-minute mark, but I can't really deal with the dramatics. I can't really deal with the dramatic. It says this message says until the 49 minutes and 30-second mark. I guess I'm gonna keep powering through.
Where they don't engage with my content in any way, because that can't be good for them. Because I'll never forgive them, but I still love them.
You still love them? Wait, who is she talking? Maybe she's not talking about Cam and Nikki. Who does she still love? Maybe Chris and Brett? Maybe that's who she's talking about. Chris and Brett are her, like, friends that she had before she was, like, on the internet, and then they stopped being friends with her or something. They don't live nearby her. They've just been internet friends.
This was a very hard month for me. And the newfound general happiness I've been feeling is new. Coming out of a very depressive phase. Thank you, Mouse. Because I am not like the way I am seen by the people that hate me. And I know that with absolute resolution.
Okay.
And over 2025, I forgot. And I was way too involved in other people's words about me.
That ain't the
I
truth.
did not listen to people when they told me watching Pulpy wasn't healthy. I did not listen to people when they told me that I should not overshare about the people I'm trying to date because I was so excited, and I had my reasons. But
I'm just here to tell you, she was just talking about a new person that came into her life in that Twitch stream the other day. She was just talking about... And this is why I'm like, I appreciate the self-awareness, but it's like, are you going to act on those things? Because quite literally in her Twitch stream the other day, she's talking about somebody she met and like the bands and music that they liked and blah, 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 blah. So this is why it's hard for me to like take seriously that she's going to make too much change.
I was not prioritizing my peace. I was prioritizing my content.
Were you?
And I lost my way.
Is going into Pulpy's stream prioritizing your content? Is going and reading subreddits about me prioritizing your content? That doesn't... that feels like the opposite. It feels like you're prioritizing other people's content.
Hard. I lost my way hard. And I needed to step away from the content. And so, like, the fact that the day before I came live again, I got this email from someone claiming that a bunch of my members got together and had a conversation and were disappointed in me for not making enough. It was the weirdest email I've ever read, and I genuinely think it might have been a buddy troll.
It probably was, Diva.
If it is real, it was still inappropriate how I was spoken to, because
it's so rich that Rosie has feelings on what is or isn't appropriate for people to be sending her DMs and emails about. But also, if it feels like a buddy troll, if it feels off, if it doesn't feel real, it's probably not. It probably wasn't, Rosie.
Went out of my way to make sure I made the Christmas content I had promised. I did my best to communicate as much as I could, and ultimately, if I'm not providing the content the way you guys want, I've not complained once about the people. Yeah, I know, we had a meeting about, I know that was the part that I was stuck on. I was like, what? Like, I literally had to stop myself and be like, that.
I'm sorry, the gag is, the person whose comment she just read, well, wait, I don't want to out him. I don't want to, essentially, you want to talk about buddy trolls, Diva.
I know people call me parasocial, but what? Like, that was... I was trying to wrap my brain around that. And that's why I'm like, I genuinely question the reality. But, and I wrote an email, and I was calm, and I was professional about it, but I was honest.
Uh-huh.
And, I never got a response, which is fine by me.
Yeah, I don't know that you needed to respond, Diva. I don't know that you did.
But it's like, I did what I could, and I've already kind of acknowledged on Twitch, and I think in my prior Patreon live, like, the guilt I feel about people who subscribe to me on Twitch. Like, that was the ball I had to drop. I had to drop one. I still did Patreon to the best of my ability, even when I was on my break. I just, after New Year's, I went to my minimum promised content requirement, and you guys are used to me over-delivering, so I understand.
I don't know that over-delivering is ever a thing you've done, Rosie, but sure. I will say, you know, as somebody who took a break in 2025 for a whole month, I announced I was taking a break, and you know what did happen? I did lose subscribers on Twitch, like paying subscribers, and that's fine, because I told them for a month I'm not going to be streaming. Well, I didn't even say... Honestly, I didn't even put a month time limit. That was like what was always the working time limit in my head. But yeah, I basically said, hey, I don't know when the next time I'll come back. It's certainly, like, if people wanted to keep supporting me through paying for it, that's their prerogative. And if they didn't, then, like, Fair enough. Unsubscribe. I will say the slight difference between me taking that break and Rosie taking her break is that she had just set up all of these platforms. And I think that's maybe part of what she's missing. She had just begged people, because she got demonetized on YouTube, to follow her over to Patreon, to follow her over to Twitch. And so I do think that that's maybe a little bit of the part she's missing, because they literally just signed up for that. It wasn't like they were able to get even a full month of content out of her Twitch stream, right? Whereas, like, perhaps somebody had already been subscribing to my channel and they knew I wasn't going to be streaming much, so they just unsubscribed until I could come back and start doing it again. But they'd already gotten what they had paid for in the previous months that I had streamed.
How that could have felt like something was taken from you, truly. But I needed to prioritize myself. And so when I started getting responses from people basically giving me shit for doing that, it was frustrating. Because I had already decided that I was going to do the Twitch live yesterday before I read the email. You guys know I announce, like, day of, like, in the morning before I go live. That's kind of my MO right now while I'm figuring out what the hell I'm doing. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate that. So, ultimately, I guess to summarize, I am sorry to both Pulpy and Zach for parts of how I handled that. I know that in the moment I handled it the best that I could. And I was speaking in a stream of consciousness sense.
Surely she's speaking about Pulpy, because, girl, there was no heat at the moment when it came to you talking about me neglecting Poe. Because you said that in one stream and doubled down in others, so please be serious. But again, I'm still accepting her apology. I am.
Whereas if I was speaking in, like, a pre-recorded sense, I would have more time to organize my thoughts.
And also, maybe that's some good insight, Rosie. Maybe that's some good insight. Maybe the insight is that we don't live stream in situations where we're, like, that level of stressed. I've certainly reflected on some of that too. Listen, I'm not perfect, but maybe that's some things to consider.
I think I'm having an emotional flashback to that moment right now, because it was so, like, I was so focused on making sure my brother's birthday wasn't ruined. That's all I focused on to get through it. Sorry, Mouse. What did we say in this meeting? Sorry.
Okay. I'm trying to stick through, because they had a very specific timestamp of 49 minutes and 30 seconds, but I can't imagine she's going to say anything else in the next minute, and I want to be done.
He's my younger brother, so maybe sometimes I do treat him like my younger brother. I don't know. He is the new baby of the family, but...
Okay.
I wanted to protect him, and I didn't want to because I just knew the fucking point was to try to guilt me into making his birthday about me again, because that's what he did last year.
Okay.
And I did it. I was so proud of myself.
Alright. Well, we made it to 49 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm gonna cut it there, because this is a long reaction, divas. But yeah, I think overall, I'm willing to accept that Rosie is sorry about bringing up stuff about Poe with not having the full information. It's unfortunate that she did double down on it so many times before this point, and it's unfortunate that people believe this to begin with about me and my relationship with Poe. I'm not going to continue to rehash it every time, but I think it's worth listening to, especially since I've talked about how frustrating it was that she's made up this lie about me. So anyways, FFG, if you want to apologize for anything, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen, Diva, because you've got a lot of stuff to say on the internet about me. You sure do, and I'm taking notes, Diva. I'm taking notes. So if you just want to solve some stuff now and come out and apologize like Miss Rosie Lynn Reed did, I will listen. I will listen. Anyways, that's all I have time for today, though, for real, because I gotta go. But thanks so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're brand new and you haven't already, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me. On all my social media. Woo, the struggle, girl. Honey, the lad. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye.